I can hear you, but not
Yes. Can you hear me?
not loud enough.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I
Is this
can.
loud enough?
Yes, it is. It
Okay.
is.
Thank you so much, Engineer Olaode. Okay. Yeah. Viewers, we are so sorry for the blinkies. These are part of I mean, the technical experiences we have to go through just to make this come alive for all of us, for the benefit of all of us. However, we can give up. We still have to keep trying so that we can make everything better for all of us, so to say. Um, Last week we started a discourse which was on the telecommunication efficient availability and affordability alongside overall effect on economic growth. And we were able to dissect some very cogent issue with respect to the economic and social impact, which Engineer Laude, who is our guest, did a lot to make us understand how this will, in a very big way, impact the society for a better advancement. However, there's need for me to introduce Engineer Laude again for the benefit of those who are just joining us. Engineer Laude, is a telecommunications engineer. He holds a master's and doctorate degree in telecommunications engineering at the University of Australia, and he's also a member of engineers in Australia, and he's currently a researcher with the Center for Advanced Electronics Communication Technologies. And here we have with Engineer Law, who is going to further help us dissect, because last week, due to some destruction, somehow we disconnected, and so we did not really conclude. And he was trying to drive home a point. He was talking about, I think I asked him about the economic advantage of the 5G and the adverse effects. And then he was trying to tell us that there's no technology that will be adopted without the pros and cons. And I think that was where we lost him. So I would just
Mhm.
want to give him the floor to continue from where we lost him last week. So, Engineer Lord, you have the floor. You're welcome back
All
once
right.
again.
Thank you very much for having me. Yes, yes. My explanation last week regarding the pros and cons. I was explaining that despite all the dangers of electromagnetic radiation, which I must also say that is present in 3G and 4G, and will probably continue in 6G that is coming. So we should not be afraid to adopt 5G because of that, and we should rely on the equipment manufacturers and the appropriate regulatory bodies in Nigeria to take it upon themselves that the electromagnetic radiation from the use of 5G or any telecommunication equipment does not cause any harmful impact on telecommunication system users. Because to be honest, we know these are dangers, and every phone I have ever owned comes with that warning that you should not be exposing yourself for prolonged period of time to phone usage.
Okay,
So that
Engineer
is
Lord,
it.
thank you so much for that caveat that you've just given to the phone users. But there's something I have to take you on, and I'm sorry. In this case, I will have to bring this down a bit, narrow this down to, I mean, the developing countries, and mostly bring it further down to Africa, because I think the situation is much more peculiar to us, because in the advanced country, the developing country, they are trying as much as possible to ensure that there's a balance. And not that we are also not trying, but of course, there are still some obvious imbalances here and there that we need to fix. And that's the essence of all this we're doing, so that we can, at least upgrade, and we can alert ourselves to be sure that those imbalances are. Now,
Okay.
you said, concerning the 4G, as it is, we've not been able to get value for the money, so to say, in the sense that we
Mm-hmm.
are still have not, gotten the efficiency, let's say the maximum efficiency we should have gotten because of the lack of infrastructures. We're not having the right infrastructures to be able to, power the 4G. Now,
Mm-hmm.
having looked at that, um, we have not been able to get the necessary fiber optics that should be in place so that we can have a good experience with the 4G. Those infrastructures are not yet in place, and yet the rush is now to meet up with the pace of the global standard in terms of the new technology, which is the 5G. Now, for you, don't you think we are putting the horse before the cart? That's one. That's one. The second thing to this question, this will lead me to my second question on this, which we border on safety, and safety in the sense that if we have not been able to put up the normal infrastructures to be able to enjoy or engage the 4G as it should be. Now we are ready because um, I know, everybody knows, people in Nigeria, let me limit it now to Nigeria. Even in, no, first and foremost, in Africa, the statistics is clear. The International Telecommunication Union made it clear that about 4% of the low-income countries now have the 5G. Even though globally it's about 53 to 54, ranging to 55, which is much more, at a very large participation there. But here it's quite low. Now the same ITU, International Telecommunication Unit, now limited down to Africa, and it is said that in Africa at least about 1.2% are now accessing the 5G. If we are accessing this 5G, we have not been able to do well enough with the 4G. And now the rush is
Mm-hmm.
that in Nigeria, limiting it down to Nigeria, because I know the 5G is available in South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, and maybe some other African countries. But in Nigeria, NTN and Airtel, and I think one other telecommunication company launched the 5G within 22 to 23. And then there's even a statistics from the NCC that about 3% of Nigerians now have access to that 5G. Now, my question still bottoms down to safety. If we have not been able to do well enough with the 4G to have enough infrastructure to power it, why the rush to 5G, which of
Okay.
course will still give us a poser or a problem with respect to safety? That's the one. Now, to conclude the
Mm-hmm.
question, the last question will now be that I mean we are in a system where, with all regret, I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it's like that. A lot of things can easily be compromised, even when standards are
Mm-hmm.
given. When the international bodies that's giving standards of operation and monitoring, what is the
Mm-hmm.
guarantee that the monitoring and the standard for this? Hello, sorry, we lost you. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, so this is almost three in one question.
Mm-hmm.
Are we not putting the cart before the horse? Are we
Mm-hmm.
not putting the horse before the cart? Now, I mean, does this not give much more of safety concerns? And then, does this not also make it obvious that the safety precautions can be compromised?
Okay. First of all, I will start with the very idea that Nigeria
I can hear you.
and Africa
Yeah.
need to take steps to be in step with technological trends. And I'm not just saying this for fashion purpose or for or superficial purpose.
Okay.
because we need to. In fact, when you look at the world as it is, Nigeria need modern communication technologies. So we are saying with a population of 250 million people, if the infrastructure will mean that people can get educated from their homes, they can book appointments from their homes. And I was last week, I was trying to call your attention to uh, what happened in the mid 90s when we used to go to JAMB office to check our results.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have a lot of people killed there. But now I'm sure they don't have to do that anymore.
Of course not.
That is the beauty of technology. So if the technology now, uh, sorry, the 5G technology promises you that you can automate you can automate your factories conveniently, ensure motor vehicle safety, because that means like your every vehicle like Tesla
Yeah.
will upload the diagnostics, the reading from your vehicle to a server where something is monitoring the car and telling you that okay, your tire is low, you need to change your engine oil, things like that, just to make you safe. And if your car is stolen and taken somewhere, anywhere in the world, something somewhere will alert you to tell you that okay, your car that was stolen is in Ibadan right now. So these are the benefits that comes with adoption of modern communication technologies. So then we now have to look at, we Nigeria, we have a lot of things to learn. And I remember the days of Madam Dora Akuyili when she was in charge of NAFDAC. She did the job so well that she got local and international awards because of the wonderful work she did. If we can find, and I am certain that there's a saying in Yoruba language that says, Irú Ọlọ́run nìkan ni ò sí, irú ẹ̀dá wà jaburata.
For the benefit of those who does not understand the language you just spoke, you just spoke in Yoruba language, and what that means is that if one person can do good, there's still 10 more people who can do better, and I mean more than 10 who can also do best. Let's put it that way. So
Hmm.
which means, of
Yeah.
course, the only thing that is not available that we don't have is replica is God. But of course, for human efficiency,
Thank
for
you.
human capability, there are several. I mean, available, so to say.
That's where I'm going. Yes. So I'm saying that for regulatory bodies, we need somebody like her. Those people who will say, okay, that any equipment coming where from any particular factory anywhere in the world must have to go through certain people who will certify that this equipment is suitable for users in Nigeria. So, and we the Nigerians, we need to trust those people. One, then two, uh, we right now, President Bola Tinubu is tackling some immediate problems right now, especially the insecurity. And my hope is that eventually he or the next president will be able to come up with a suitable telecommunication policy that will allow, because let's take our mind back to the days of General Obasanjo when he brought GSM into Nigeria in 1999. It's almost like suddenly we were like when we had like maybe 1,000 people to one phone, then suddenly we had maybe one phone to five people, and from then till now we have some people even with three phones. That was the policy General Obasanjo adopted then, that allowed telecommunication companies to come into Nigeria. Then competition started and prices fell, and they all compete to attract customers. Australia, like I was telling you about the national broadband last week, that costed $70 billion and was completed in 2015. So I'm saying this because if Nigeria were to go the way Australia went, we are now talking about like maybe double the money Australia spent, which I can guarantee you right now, Nigeria does not have that money.
Of course, yes.
We do not have the money. But if we have a policy that will task people with, okay, we have decided that we are going to adopt 5G and prepare ourselves for future technologies. Therefore, we are going to look for a way to finance it. I will also call our mind to the case of petroleum refinery. After our major refineries, Kaduna and Port Harcourt, failed since the time of General Abacha, we were importing crude. So we're importing refined products. But eventually, Mr. Dangote, Alhaji Dangote, he came up with the idea that yes, if he built the refinery in Nigeria, it will solve that problem. And right now, it is beginning to solve the problem.
Yes.
So we are saying the issue of refinery is being solved by private sector, but still locally uh, built refineries. So I would say something like that can be done for telecommunication infrastructure. And I see a way, because I can guarantee you, one way or the other, we need to move to 5G.
Of course,
And regarding your question regarding the benefits,
exactly. Yeah. Well,
yes.
you've spoken so much about the benefit, and then we all know. I mean, even from the 4G, the 3G, we can see how telecommunications has been able to reduce the cost of doing business. It has boosted, productivity. It has also exposed or expand the market. It's easy for you to reach,
Mm-hmm.
the global market, and several, benefits. But I feel the fear of people at the point in time where there was so much agitation. You can remember very well during the COVID, there was a lot of agitation. There was even a lot of unfounded postulation theories. around the
Mm-hmm.
issue of
5G.
5G, a lot of it.
5G causing COVID.
Into that. But you see, but what I want to say is that don't you think people's fear are valid with respect to the fact that because look at the situation that we have just painted. On 4G, we are yet to be able to put up, adequate infrastructure to manage it and make it efficient. But in no time, we are rushing to, get the 5G in place. Which of course the 5G comes with bigger technology and of course it's bigger risk and bigger challenge. You understand? So
Mhm.
don't you think people's fear are valid in terms of most of the question I've asked in terms of safety, in terms of not to compromise the monitoring and the international standard precautions or protocols that might have been put in place. Considering the fact that I just don't want to go too deep so that you don't get too technical. But okay,
Mhm.
why the 5G? Hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm with you now.
Okay, now the federal government was able to recoup some fund, out of the licensing, which is normal. But for me, I have not seen the effect of the fund in terms of making the telecommunication better. In the sense that, if I'm not mistaken, over $800 million was recouped from licensing to 5G. Even the 5G has not so been effective, even though about 3% according to MCC, about 3% has access to it. And I think that should have made the services better one way or the other. However, I know you are not in the best position to give me an answer to that. But I'm going to take you on something which is the other question I would have loved to ask, which you also mentioned about. Now, talking about the benefit of telecommunications, one of the salient benefits is that such technology are meant to abate crime and then lessen insecurity, which is normal. But you will still discover, like I said, I may have to bring this down to Africa and the developing country.
Mhm.
Presently, there's a plague going on, and there's this unholy business of adopting people for ransom in some part of African country. And if I have to be honest, I think I and you know where this is much more rampant, the country that this is much more rampant.
Mhm.
Now, you will see that in the midst of all this, despite the fact that we have the telecommunication, which is supposed to be able to help us, bringing in the tracking system, the tracking knowledge of the telecommunication to help us, at least to a large extent, prevent and also curb this activity. Knowing fully well that it is this same telecommunication that is always being deployed during the activities of the so-called unholy gang who perpetuate these activities. You understand? And after adopting people, they call their family members, they call several places for ransom, and yet using their phone, using SIM that can be traced. With my little knowledge of telecommunications, I know that every phone has what they call the IMEI, and same thing goes with
Mhm.
every SIM, which is the IMCI. The International Mobile Equipment Identity, and then the International Mobile Subscribers Identity. Even with that, I mean, we have not seen the effect of, the what should be the benefit of telecommunications to have been able to track these people down and then reduce the effect of this menace. I mean, what will you say as an expert? Maybe you are going to use this platform to be able to address the government. What will you
Mm.
say as an expert in telecommunication to be able to effect the tracking knowledge of the telecommunications to be able to, in a way, abate
Mm.
this menace?
I must tell you, frankly, that from every information I have gotten from social media about law enforcement and security, our security agencies, they have the capability and they have been using those capabilities and knowledge about telecommunication to track people, and they've made a lot of arrests in this way. In fact, whenever I come across some of the success by the Nigerian police on the internet, I'm always proud of them. Trust me, we have highly professional people who are highly intelligent and they know what they are doing. But that said, we both know that whenever we talk about Africa, especially Nigeria, we know it is never straightforward. You know what I'm talking about? Like, if you tell the police to arrest people who commit crimes, you can be sure that if they arrest 100 people, maybe 60 will probably be non-criminals. And then there are times when they will arrest criminal and let them go. But you and I am not a policeman, and you are not a policeman, so there's very little we can say about how they do their job. But what I can guarantee you is that the information about tracking was is known by the police and has been used by the police and even the government. I remember, like, during the time of Isap and Tami, the minister for ICT, they started this issue of NIN, where they link your NIN to your SIM. So if you buy a SIM, if you, it must be linked to your NIN, and you cannot have a bank account without linking it to your NIN. So with this is to be able to track people and their activities online. So I can guarantee you that with regard to the use of information and communication technologies to fight crime, we are on the right track.
Are you still there?
Thank you. Yes, I'm there.
Can you hear me? Okay, fine.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, well, if you say we're on track, yes, I agree with you that we're on the right track, but it seems like the track is a bit slow. It's taking us too
Hmm.
long a time. We have been on this for a very long while, and at least telecommunication has been with us for as far back as I mean to say that the GSM, so to say, the GSM broadband, so to say, has been available as far back as 2000, where anybody can use the mobile to make calls and stuff like that. And then, of course, there has been some development, but I know that this same development has also been with us for some time now. IN number, the IMC and stuff like that. However, we are still slow and we need to come up. Anyway, thank you so much for your contribution. But I will just say that now, maybe on a lasting note, what advice will you give to people in the developing countries doing business in a way that they can harness more the telecommunication facilities to be able to better their businesses and even their individual life, and even as a nation, how do you think? We can still harness the telecommunication for the advantage of the economic growth, so to say.
Yes, I think I would say that the use of telecommunication to better our lives is non-negotiable. It it replaces like if we are spending say 1 million on our roads, we should be able to spend 1 million on telecommunication infrastructures too. Because people who could communicate on the phone do not need to go on the road.
on the road.
Yes. And you probably don't like you don't require that. I say like your communicational system does not need as much maintenance as much as your road. Yes. And then there's a thing we say in communication technologies where most of the changes, like I'll give you an example. Fiber optics in Australia have been laid since the 80s. It's just that there are some places that it doesn't get to. So the nearly $100 million that was spent between 2010 and 2015 were to go to those areas that it has not gotten to spread fiber optics. So we are saying that the technology that was used in the 80s used fiber for communication,
Excuse me.
and the technologies that is being used even in 2025, that is about 40 years later, still using fiber communication. What does that tell you? It tells you that if you lay those infrastructures and they are good enough and you can look into the future, even the technologies that you deploy on top of them, even when they change, that technology that you lay down to take you into the future is still there. That infrastructure, fiber optics, or because some people in Australia too, they are still bringing the idea that we could still connect wirelessly and still get good speed. So I would say, in the case of the use of 5G, we need the government to support in building those infrastructure and to identify the appropriate infrastructure that they need to connect Nigerians, 250 million Nigerians, such that when those technologies come 5G, 6G, 7Gs, 8G, 10G, they will still be able to take advantage of the technologies of the fiber links, the infrastructures. Yes,
On the late.
yes.
That's great. So
But like I
it's a
said,
message that
we ourselves, the masses, we need to be patient. We should not just keep looking to the government all the time. We need to work together, learn, be willing to sponsor people who are willing to learn. Because I guarantee you the duty of building Nigeria and if its infrastructures is
a nation, so to say, not just
is
Nigeria,
is, is for
but
all of us.
all developing countries.
All
Yeah.
of us, yes. Like I mentioned before, look at Aliko Dangote.
Dangote.
He has done his part. Mr. Mike Adenuga, when he brought Globalcom in 2003, he did his part.
Maybe we should
So
be looking forward to you also bringing in some professionals to Nigerias and probably bring in some
yes,
people who have the fund to come and establish, get a telecommunication license and establish another service provider so that you can compete with the ones that are already on ground, isn't it? We should be looking forward to that.
It's a good idea. Personally, I thought about that too. But like I always point to the lack of infrastructure, because I will tell you the things with the infrastructure now is that it is not just the idea that somebody will buy equipment. We are talking about permit to run cable
Yeah.
underground. So probably you have to go to the front of people's houses, dig their driveway so that you can run a cable through the front of their house. Or at times, people run the cable through their home. And we know for you to even do that at all, even if you are running, you bought the cable and you are running those cable, you need government to support you in that.
Definitely.
And we are now talking about like I know as at year 2000 or 2010, I don't know of any fiber cable anywhere in Nigeria. I don't know of
There
any.
are fiber cables in Nigeria now, so to say. I mean, but not
So,
necessarily.
but I know that uh, places like Victoria Island or Ikoyi,
Yeah.
because those areas were fairly well planned, it will be very easy to get a permit to run cable and to run cable in certain places. So that is why you may be able to get the 5G communication and others with limited success in some areas. So, but then outside those areas, it's going to be difficult to run cables because we'll be talking about traffic hold up and many other things like that. So that is why people like me, yes, it's a good idea. I mean, hey, if I have the money, yes, I can get people and say, yeah, let's go start something in Nigeria.
Should it be all about the money? You may not have the money, but you have the know-how, and then you can, I mean, mop
Ah,
the finance. I mean,
Mr. Benson, I don't let me speak in Yoruba again because we are talking about
it's not
ọ̀rọ̀
just
tí
about the
owó
finance
bá
alone.
ṣe tì
A lot
ilẹ̀
of
ló máa gbé.
factors, a lot of factors are involved, even with the finance. A lot of factors are
Exactly.
involved, and
But money
I
being
absolutely.
the first, the first.
Okay, I think
Like
the
I want to
government
remind
should.
you. Do you know that Mr. Mike Adenoga, he had to secure loan from France when he wanted to start Globalcom?
That's normal in business, especially a
Yeah,
business of such magnitude. So of course there will be loans made to get the business going.
that is what I'm saying. That magnitude.
No, that's okay. I mean, in a nutshell, what you're trying to say is that the government should make telecommunication projects a capital project, um, the thing, so
Hmm.
that we can be balance. I mean, looking at the fact that the telecommunication is playing a very pivotal role in economy, building economy now, unlike it was
Yes.
before. Like I said last week in our conversation here, I said there's this common saying that communication is the life wire of everything, but it's almost becoming that telecommunication is almost becoming the life wire of everything, all because of the fact that you may not be able to communicate again without the use of telecommunication, because telecommunication is playing a very indispensable role in the heart of communication, with respect to business,
Hmm.
with respect to individual relationship, with respect to, I mean, interpersonal relationship, and several other things. So thank you so much,
Yes.
Engineer Olaode, for your time, for throwing some good light on, I mean,
My
the
pleasure, Mr.
affordability and
Benson.
availability of and the efficient telecommunication and what it can do to the growth of every economy. And we hope to always bring you back whenever there's need with respect to related to your field or to your discipline, so to say. So please, viewers, thank you so much for your spare time. Thank you so much for
My
being
pleasure.
our guest once again. Please try as much as possible to subscribe to this channel and then on the notification button so that you can always be updated of every episode of the show. So thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Olaode. I mean, Engineer Olaode. Pardon me. Engineer Olaode, like I said earlier on, is a member of the engineers in Australia, and is currently a researcher with the Center for Advanced Electronic Communications Technologies, a PhD holder in telecommunications. Thank you so much, Mr. Olaode, for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
So, yeah, my regards. Cheers.
My regards.
See you again. Thank you.